building momentum as a brand new real estate agent can be incredibly tough, and most struggle to get to the point where they close more than maybe 10 deals in their first year. But today we've got a brand new agent rock star with us. Jenny Selly was able to close over 20 transactions in her first 6 months. But listen to this for a second. She's a brand new agent in a brand new market that she just moved to and didn't know anybody. So what we're going to talk about today is how Jenny leveraged Facebook ads and the exact Facebook ads that she ran, how she followed up with the online leads, how she leveraged Facebook groups in order to do some really strategic things for client attraction, and then a really unique approach she took to actually connect with CEOs of a big company, and it ended up working with multiple of their employees. So this is going to be an incredible video showing you exactly as a new agent how to break the mold and the stereotype of doing less than like 6 deals in your first year and building momentum to absolutely crush it. So without further ado, let's welcome Jenny Selly from Moncton, New Brunswick, and talk about the exact strategy she used to build insane momentum as a brand new agent. What's up, guys? We're back with another episode, and today is one that I'm super excited for. We've got a new agent rock star here who has actually closed over 20 deals within their first 6 months as being a new agent in a new city that they just moved to. And she's used some really creative strategies, Facebook, and some unique things with ads and groups that we're going to dive into, but also a really cool initiative that went above and beyond that landed a pretty incredible client. That is a really cool thing. I'm excited for her to share with you guys that I think you guys can think about doing as well. So without further ado, Jenny, welcome to the video.
Thanks so much, Mike. Super excited to be here. Always looked up to you, so I'm super excited that now you get to we're talking, right?
Definitely. No, it's been super cool. And, just to give some people some context before we get into the value, because I know we're going to talk about Facebook ads and Facebook groups and this really cool strategy you did to land a massive client. But where did it all begin? Because you recently got your license, and why did you get that license? And what was it like being in a new agent in a new city where you didn't know anybody and then building this massive success so quickly?
Well, I always wanted to get into real estate, but was always afraid of commission work. I was always like, no, I need my pay regularly. But I was not too happy with my last job. Like I felt I wasn't using the qualities or the talents that I had. And I'm like, you know what? With the support of my husband, he's like, do it, just get into real estate. You've been looking at that for years. And even though, in New Brunswick, we moved 3 years ago, leaving all our family behind in Ontario. So our base is there. We've met some great people here, but I don't know that many people that, would be referring me sales. But I said, you know what, whatever, let's do it. You only live once. I did it. Before I got my license, I remember Googling videos, real estate videos, like just, how to get in it, how to succeed. Because that was my thing. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. It's commission work, but I need to rock it. I need to start bringing money home, as fast as I possibly can, because the bills are not going to be waiting, right? So it's funny because some of the first videos that I came across were yours, if not the first one. And I was just super impressed. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. So I started watching all your videos. And once I took my license, I kind of had that base of how to start it a little bit, like how to, build on social media. Social media, I would always use them more of on a personal level. And it was always pictures of my kids, never of me. It was just my kids. I didn't like being in front of the camera. But one of the amazing things you always played upon was you being in front of the media, in front of social media, in front of customers. So I started working on that, and that definitely has paid off.
Definitely. It's incredible to see, especially, being younger like us and coming into a new market and absolutely crushing it, and seeing this trajectory is incredible. It's, far more than I even did in my, first year. So I'm super proud of what you've done. Now, a lot of people, and I think you've combated this issue or this stigma very well, is a lot of people get into the industry and they hear from all of these leaders, just work your sphere, right? Just nurture your database, work your sphere. And then you've got people like us that just moved to a new city, and our thoughts are, we have no freaking sphere. How do we do this? We have nobody. We don't know anyone. So you've taken some really unique approaches with Facebook. And, for anybody that is watching this, definitely check out Jenny's Instagram, because it's by far one of the best examples of what you should be doing. It's a live running case study, which is incredible. But what made you start to think about Facebook? And then first, let's talk about the ad side of things before we get into some of the cool things you've done with Facebook groups.
Mhm. So it's funny because here in New Brunswick, most people I feel have Facebook, right? Not a lot of people have Instagram. I think the younger generation has Instagram. So I knew I had to work into Facebook. I had some experience with Facebook ads because back in Ontario, I had my own photography business. So I kind of knew how to work it there. But with real estate, it's a little bit different. So again, I was watching a lot of your videos and, what to include in there. And I did some campaigns, and out of those campaigns, I was able to get, my first 2 listings from Facebook ads. And I was like, whoa, this does work, right? So that was Facebook. But again, you have to know how to do it. And thank you for letting me know how to do it.
Yeah, and to get those listings, give some context as to 2 things. And this is really, really important that I want people to understand. The first thing that I'd love for you to kind of dive into for a second is, what were those ads? And then the second thing, which is the thing that everybody's trying to figure out, is how did you actually follow up and convert those online leads?
Absolutely. So one of the ads was literally just a picture saying, I have buyers, it was looking for sellers. I have buyers, give me a call and I'm sure we can, get your home sold, kind of thing. And I got a lady actually that replied to that ad saying, look, I want to put my house for sale. Can we meet? And I was like, absolutely. So that was that one ad. Then the second ad was from that house that I sold. I put it, just saying recently sold in this neighborhood and, sold within a certain amount of days, looking for buyers, looking for sellers, right? Like something like that along those lines. And then somebody replied to a comment on that ad saying, hey, I want to sell my house and I really want to contact you. So right away I followed up with her and we met, and it was funny because she actually also follows me on Instagram, and she was saying how she loved seeing my stories, and she knew about me already. Like she knew about the kids and how we had moved here a couple of years ago. So it's awesome. And I think honestly, it also has to do on you. Like they're looking for you as a person to be able to help them. They have to connect with you.
Yeah, and I think it's an important thing to unpack there is the fact that they were also following you on other platforms. And I think a lot of people, especially with my training, I get a lot of feedback of people putting all their eggs in one basket, right? They're saying, I'm going to commit to Facebook, and then they only do Facebook, and then they let every other platform slide. But we, as entrepreneurs, we need to be omnipresent. And a lot of agents continue to say, I go above and beyond. I care so much about my clients, and my quality is so superior to everybody else in my market. And then you look at their online presence and you see, okay, they might have one platform dialed in a little bit, but then the rest haven't been updated for months. And people really are checking you out. That's one of the first things people do. Even if you go to a listing presentation, they're going to Google your name afterward. And having that online presence is relatable. And I love that you said the stories, because that's what actually allows people to connect on that raw, authentic, transparent level when they can just see you doing your thing and why they would like to work with you, because it's a person-to-person business, but a lot of people use social media in a business-to-business sense, and they forget the personal side of it. So I think it's really cool that you highlight a lot of that. And when you look at your Instagram, it's pretty easy to tell who you are, what you're about, mom of kids, you've got your husband, you live in New Brunswick, and you love getting out. So it's really cool to see this. Now with other Facebook ads and other online leads, how have you done with that? Is there any other ads that you've used that have done really well for generating leads? And what's kind of like your follow-up process for Facebook ads?
So I actually did even though I'm in New Brunswick, 95% of the people that I work with and my clients are from Ontario or from that province. And I actually did an ad to target people in Ontario, just to show the beauty of New Brunswick, posted some pictures of the ocean of New Brunswick, of what it is, right? And I actually did get a couple of leads from that. I'm still working with them. But yeah, they just contacted me saying, look, we've been looking at the idea it's interesting that you moved. How was your experience? And I'm actually currently working with some of those leads to try to find them homes. So yeah, so not only did I use Facebook to target, the local market, but I also wanted to target the market in Ontario, which is where I'm getting most of my clients from.
It's a really important thing to note there, because a lot of agents do move to a new city and they do have this experience. And we've got other people in our group who as well, that again have moved from California to Texas and started leveraging that to share what it was like for them on their YouTube channel and in their Facebook ads. And a lot of people seem to resonate with that because you've been through it, right? And when they feel like they can relate to somebody that's also been through that journey, just by nature of you sharing that with other people, they connect with you on a deeper level than maybe said a more experienced top producer in your market that's been there for many years, but they don't understand that journey. And the fact that you can highlight that, showcase it, and share it with them, it makes you much more relatable, which I think definitely helps with that conversion. So it's good that you've tapped into that. And, now let's talk about the Facebook groups, because that's actually been something that I've done quite well with as well. But I'd love to hear your story on what you decided to start doing in those groups and some of the tips you can maybe give people if they want to do something similar in their market.
Absolutely. So that one I've gotten actually leads from, and actually leads that have turned to sales. One of them in particular was a family that I met this past weekend, which was wonderful. And it was just the husband coming out saying, look, me and my family are looking to move out to New Brunswick, just looking to see what people's experiences are. And obviously you got like 50 replies. I replied to him as well, but I didn't say right away, hey, I'm a realtor and blah, blah, blah. I said, no, we moved out 3 years ago. We have 2 kids, moved out on our own. This is where we live. This is, what we've experienced. These are some of the difficult parts we've had, or like things we've had. Reach out to me. We can definitely have a one-on-one kind of talk. And he did. When he reached out right away, he said, full disclosure, I am a realtor. I'm not trying to sell you a house. I'm just letting you know what my experience has been moving here with my family. Anyhow, super nice guy. They wanted to move next year, like 2022. They're already here. So it's funny because when I see him, he's like, you convinced me right away. We had to move, right? But it was just sharing my experience. And when it comes to those Facebook groups, you're going to get a lot of people just saying, I just want to, I want to know what it is like to move there. We have kids. And, if you can give them something, not right away, like I'm a realtor, no, just give them your experience. People will reach out. People will listen. They will respect that more than you saying, hey, if you're looking for a house, I can help you. No, just, talk to them one-on-one, try to show your human side as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's, I think a lot of people, lead with selfishness in Facebook groups, and they wonder why they don't get any, listings or deals or leads or anything from it, because they're going in with the intent of me, right? Their focus is me. What can I get out of this group? Not what you can provide to this group. And when you go in with the mentality and the intent of leading with value and just pouring into people, they're going to work with you anyway. Right. And it's, again, I can't say it enough. It's the fact that agents are constantly, reiterating that they love working with people. They love helping people. It's a person-to-person business, but they're acting very selfishly, not in the, the mindset of what can I do for other people. And I think, in order to work with people, you have to provide value to people. And you've done that really, really well. Now, the next thing I'd love to kind of jam out with for a second here, before you maybe provide some tips to other new agents, is this unique strategy that you did where you reached out to somebody in a pretty creative way and what that turned into. So maybe if you want to dive into what that entire journey looked like and your advice to other people, because through our conversations, it sounds like you might have an opportunity to do the same thing again quite soon.
So one of the things that, don't take for granted is what you hear on the radio or listen to in the newspaper. On the radio, there was a story about a company that was moving from Ontario to New Brunswick. They were moving their whole family here. They were moving with some of the workers here, some of the employees. So right away, I was like, oh, who is this company? Did a little bit of research, found out who the CEO was, owner was. Or is, and I sent him out a care package. So I went to one of the local stores here that sells all New Brunswick things, got him a lot of New Brunswick just calendars, all these local things, got him local beer from one of the local breweries, and just sent him this box. It was right before Christmas, and I sent him a letter again saying, I moved 3 years ago. I'm a realtor. However, what I'm giving you here, like what I'm trying to portray is like, I have the experience. If you have any questions about the move with your family, I know you have children as well, please reach out. Even if you have a realtor, I'm not trying to sell you a home, but if you have any questions about what life in the Maritimes is and what making this big move entails, I would be happy to talk to you. Anyhow, he reached out literally like a week later, and he said, thank you so much. It made a huge difference at the fact that, one, you said, reach out so I can share with you my experience. And the fact that I, took the time to just send them all these little things about our province and our wonderful province, a little flag and all these little things, right? Just as a welcoming and trying to just bring out the best in our province, or in this province, which it is. So he was pretty impressed by that. So not only did I obviously help him find a home, but also 5 other people, which were family members and employees. So it turned out to be 6 deals out of that little care package and letter, just saying, I've been in your shoes, reach out. I'd love to help you. Like help you as in like with the moving transition, any questions, not just help you find a home.
Yeah, it's so, incredible that you did that. Just thinking, as a new agent, how can you combat, lack of experience? And the way you combat lack of experience is with over delivering on value, right? And I love that you went above and beyond to do that. And you can see it's those little things that separate you from the others, right? Everybody else is going to, number one, lead with, if you're looking to buy a house, I'm the person. They're going to boast about their years of experience and all of their accolades and credibility. And you just passively sent something saying, welcome, excited to welcome you to the province. I'm here for you. I've been there. And I think, again, that continues to be on that relatable level that just resonates so deeply with people that are looking for somebody that, again, is not that typical pushy salesy agent. They just want somebody who cares. And I think it's safe to say that you definitely care a lot about the people that you're working with if you're willing to go and do those things that others aren't willing to do. Now, 20 freaking deals in the first 6 months is insane. And especially with not having, a parent in the industry with past experience or being on a team and things like that, and just getting everything given to you. Your advice to new agents, because a lot of new agents reach out to me, like they reach out to you saying, I've been in real estate for 3 months. I've got 0 deals, 0 listings. I don't know where to go, don't know what to do. Your journey throughout these last 6 months, what would be your best advice to people of the things that you did well? And is there anything that you might have changed, knowing what you know now 6 months into it, that you could have done 6 months ago getting into the industry? What's kind of that picture like? If I was to get my real estate license today, what would you advise me to do right now?
So I think one of the big things is don't stop yourself just because you're new. Again, I know a lot of realtors out there are saying, we have the experience, just don't mention that you're new. That's fine that you're new, and people will know that you're new, because eventually once you build a relationship, you'll let them know, hey, I've only been in this, but I'm giving it my all. So I think sometimes we stop ourselves from doing a lot of things. Just again, an example was sending out that box. I was like, well, I did think about it, but I didn't stop myself, because I was like, oh, he probably already has a realtor, and obviously they're going to go with somebody that has a ton of experience. We're talking to a CEO here. But I did it. I was like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? He can say no, thank you. So don't stop yourself just because you're new. Get out there. Another huge thing that worked for me, and I know a lot of people don't like being in front of the camera or don't like posting about their life. But people need to know you. You need to sell yourself. You are the brand. When they get to know you, that's when they know whether they do want to work with you or not. So definitely don't be shy to share about yourself. I'm not saying all the, nothing private, but just your life. Like, what do? You have kids, this is what you like to do. I think that makes a huge, huge difference. Don't underestimate social media, right? Exactly what you said. A lot of people are like, they'll either focus only on one thing or completely disregard social media because they become too busy with other things. So I think for me, those have been the biggest things. Surround yourself with positive people. I love watching your videos because you have this energy, this positive energy that pushes people forward. And I knew I wanted that from the beginning. From the beginning, I said, I need to surround myself with successful and positive role models, right? That can just kind of push me forward, even if I don't know them in person, even if it was just watching your videos every week. But it makes a huge difference to do that. What would I have done differently? I guess I'm still so new that I don't even know yet, right? But I think just finding that balance between like family and work is something that I'm definitely still trying to accomplish. It has been hard, it has been busy, but I know that sometimes you have to risk a lot in order to succeed. And you know, I tell my kids, I tell my husband, this is almost like a seasonal job. It's not always going to be at a high. But I have to give it my all right now. I'm just getting known, and I'm building my base right now. So be patient with me, and I love them to death because they are being patient with me. So I think it helps a lot. But exactly what you said, you need to sacrifice a lot of things to be successful and to be different.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head, where a lot of people discount themselves because they're a new agent, and they use that heavily as a limiting belief of, oh, nobody with this $1 million listing will ever work with me because I'm new. Well, you know, you've worked with some CEOs now, and I got a $15 million listing when I was a brand new agent. And, you know, a lot of people continue to try and find these reasons as to why they should not be successful. And I love your approach, which is taking those reasons and saying, here's how I can spin it to make it a competitive advantage. I'm fresh, I'm young, I've got energy, I'm on these platforms, I'm doing, you know, leveraging tech that these other agents aren't, especially in a place like New Brunswick. And you've kind of flipped the script and said, I'm not going to let these ever be a limitation or an obstacle in my journey. I'm going to blast past it and make it my own. So it's really cool that, you know, especially being from New Brunswick, I've seen how behind in technology a lot of these people are. And you didn't wait for somebody to just come train you. You didn't wait for, you know, the perfect Facebook ad to land in your lap. You went out and tested and tried and iterated and, you know, found what worked, found what didn't, and constantly adjusted to make it your own, which I think is absolutely incredible. And, you know, that kind of leads into the segue of the last kind of topic that we're going to dive into, where you talked about the desire to collaborate and work with other people that are similar mindset, which are positive. Because I know, especially being here in Calgary, obviously this year the market's doing really well, but in the past years when I got my license, the market was terrible. And the problem was that I was at a brokerage where, you know, no fault of the brokerage, but just the mentality of the other agents there was always, what's wrong with the market? Why are my listings not selling? There's no listings, there's no buyers, the market's terrible. And you're surrounded by this constant negativity. And it's really hard to not let that resonate with you, because you start to vibrate at the frequency of the average of in that room. And when the average in that room is fearful and they're negative and they've got obstacles and they can't face them and they're constantly leading with problems, not solutions, it starts to bring you down. So it's been incredible to see that you've recently made the decision to partner with us at EXP with the Wolfpack. And I'd love to, you know, for you to kind of talk about why that journey happened, coming from arguably, you know, similar to where I was at, the most recognized and most reputable brokerage in your market. And as a new agent, you said, I'm going to go do it my own. What made that happen?
Well, again, I joined because when I first went to my original brokerage, I said, well, you know what? They're a big name. They're known worldwide. This is definitely going to be huge for me. But then I realized, no, again, it's not about who you work for. It's about who you are and how you sell yourself to people. You know, none of the deals that I've made to date have come to me because I work for a certain agency. They've come to me because of me, because they found something in me that they believe that I can help them with, or that I have the personality to be able to, you know, work with them and help them find a home. It was never like, oh, well, you work for that broker, that's why I'm going to hire you. No. When I realized this was when I said, no, I think I could do more. Exactly what you said. I'm the kind of person that loves to be surrounded by positive people, by successful people. When I started following you, again, it was before I even got my license, when I was just in the process of getting it. And, I followed your whole, kind of thing, everything that you did, right? And to me, that was amazing. And when I saw that you were with EXP, and then I saw these other agents that are also quite successful, even in New Brunswick, and they're with EXP, I was like, well, there has to be something different there. And actually, I approached you, I believe, because a lot of people have this mentality of like, well, EXP, they're, you're just there to get other agents. And no, because I had followed you along, and because I was doing your courses, I'm like, well, I want to know why he moved to EXP, right? Being so successful. And when you started talking to me about it, I was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? The training, just the whole support. That's what I want. And again, technology is changing. The real estate industry is in for a big change, and I want to be ahead of the game as well in that sense. So everything that it offered resonated with what I want out of my career. And again, I am forever grateful for my first brokerage. They're wonderful. They're all wonderful people. But for me, on a personal level, I know that I can grow with EXP.
Yeah, I think something that's really important there is the same thing, because I went to the same brokerage, but here in my city, back in 2017. And, a lot of people, especially new agents, get in and they feel like the name is going to be the one bringing them all these leads. And the brokers are always leading with that, we've got the most market share, the most agent, we've got, the biggest brand. Everybody knows us, everybody trusts us. And you start to get this perception that, oh my gosh, if I'm with this brokerage, then deals are just going to land on my lap, fall out of the sky. I'm going to be making it rain. And what you start to see, and I saw this because I made my transition 4 months into it, which is that at the end of the day, it comes down to you. Because I know some of the worst agents in my market are at that very same brokerage, but also some of the top agents in my city are at that same brokerage. And what you start to realize is it has nothing to do with the brokerage. It has everything to do with the agent. And I think that's what's made this opportunity so incredible, is that we have the ability to develop the agent to help them become more successful. So you've seen some of our calls now. And maybe you just want to give a bit of insight as to the positivity of that group, because you said you wanted to be surrounded by other people, and sometimes others hearing about this opportunity are a bit hesitant. What has your experience been so far, just having, a couple weeks within the group?
Oh, I love it. Like I said, I love being surrounded by positive people. One of the reasons, obviously, why I was like, yes, all in for EXP is because you're leading the group that I'm in. Right? Again, I used to follow you before, and now I actually have access to you. I'm like, why not? Are you kidding me? So with the calls, and I've texted you after the calls where I say, Mike, I am so pumped, just feeling everybody's energy, the information that's given in this group. It's amazing because you're getting so much information, how you can better your own real estate career. You're getting all these people in that call that are there with the same energy and the same attitude to rock this business. So you obviously, it's contagious, right? So when I'm done with those calls, I'm like, yes, I'm ready to take on the world kind of thing. I got the tools, right? So I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Super psyched to be in the Wolfpack. Yeah, you know what I mean? Again, this is what I wanted, Mike. I wanted to surround myself with positive, successful people in the industry that I could have as role models. And I am beyond grateful that I could do this.
No, I'm super grateful to have you here. And I think it's even helped me just seeing the morale and the mentality of the group, and everybody's fired up on 4 mastermind calls every single week. And you just have this different vibe. And again, you start resonating at a higher frequency and aligning with other people, and hearing, constant case studies of, oh my God, this person's getting a deal a week, and this person's doing, 20 deals in their first 6 months. And when you start hearing everybody in the group with all these crazy case studies, it starts to make those who maybe were struggling a bit more start to believe, okay, now I can do it too. So I think it's incredible. And I'm, again, beyond grateful to have you here. And again, thank you for sharing your tips on Facebook and going above and beyond to, again, find unique ways to differentiate yourself as a new agent. And for anybody that's watching this to the end, again, if you'd like to have a call with Jenny or myself, we're more than happy to talk to you about what that journey looks like and how we can help you do something very similar, because you're a living, breathing example of what should and needs to be done as a new agent to crush it. So any last words of wisdom for the audience, Jenny?
Last words of wisdom, like I said, you are your biggest obstacle. You need to get it out of your head. And I'm talking especially to new agents like me. Doesn't matter how new you are, you need to, you know, show yourself to the world, show all those qualities that you have. Why did you get into this business? You know what I mean? Show that to people. Don't limit yourself. I think that's my biggest thing. Don't limit yourself just because of your lack of experience. That's fine that you can't give the 20-year experience the other realtor has, but you could give other things. And just look for that niche that you have. For me, a lot of it has been helping people from out of province, right? Because I have been there and that has helped me tremendously. So maybe look to see how you can be different from that realtor that has 20 years experience, even though you have a couple of months, right? And don't limit yourself.
That's awesome. And, you know, again, I'm super excited to continue following your journey, and I hope everybody else does and follows your YouTube channel, which is going to start kicking off, and your Instagram, because you're living it. And I think it's so powerful to see where you're at now, where you're going to go, and what that future is going to look like. So again, super grateful to have you with us, and hopefully people found value in some of the unique strategies. Again, guys, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Peace.